Today, I am very pleased to introduce one of the newest franchises in the area, the Golden State Storm. The Storm are a professional women's football team, or rather a set of teams, debuting in 2026. Pro football is the biggest sport in our country, and the Storm are part of a new evolution of the game. Or should I say revolution? Pack your umbrellas, because there's a storm coming. This is Silicon Sports Spectator. All right, spectators, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation today. We're pleased to be joined by Dr. Sammy Vogel Seidenberg, who is the GM for our new Golden State Storm. So, Dr. Sammy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here. Excited to talk all things women's football.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's an exciting time, and certainly for one of the most popular sports in America, when there seems to be this great evolution happening. First, I want to for the audience here and to give a bit about your background.
Yeah.
You have a pretty impressive resume, and I've noted a couple things because you've played a lot of different roles, everything from player and coach, professor, and now an executive for the team. So can you talk a little bit about your background and what's led you here to this point?
Yeah, for sure. So, I started off doing some coaching when I was in college, and then ended up working in the film industry for a little while and realized that I didn't love it as much as I thought I would, and got into sports. And so, I decided to change careers and go full time into coaching. And so I moved to the East Coast and started coaching college lacrosse back there. And then I was a men's lacrosse coach at the collegiate level for close to 15 years. And then as of 2 years ago, I just stepped down from that role and moved into a new role at the university I'm at, which is Dominican University of California. During my time there, I was the head coach. I was the assistant athletic director, helped start the first and only Division II women's lacrosse team in California, which was pretty exciting as well, kind of getting that kind of start of growing a women's sport. And then, got my doctorate and recently just moved into the role of faculty athletic rep here at the university. So I oversee all the academics for all 300 student athletes here at Dominican, as well as I teach kinesiology and sports management. And over the summer, I saw the opportunity about the general manager role with the Storm, and got to meet with the owners, and felt like it was a really good fit for all of us. And with my experience kind of building teams and my experience with recruiting and sales and that kind of stuff, just felt like the right fit, and was able to come in and get started here. And it's been a whirlwind of 2 months getting this thing going and getting things off the ground, but it's been really exciting and a lot of really great experiences so far, and meeting some great people. And it's we're excited about what we're building here at the Storm. It's really looking like something special.
That's great. Yeah. And even just to build on that, a young league and certainly a new expansion franchise within that young league. Again, what is sort of the vision for this? What sold you on the team and the league, as not only as a place to work, but really to build this bigger sport, like you were referring to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the owners really sold it for me. I mean, they are two, Jake Linger and Brad Grovich. They're doing an incredible job as the ownership group, and really just getting to talk to them and getting to see their vision and what they were trying to build. And then also, like, in that time, meeting with Odessa Jenkins, who's the head of the league, and getting to know her as well. I mean, she's just incredible. Her background's awesome, and what they're trying to do. And I think at the end of the day, like, we're creating something newish, right? Women's tackle football has been around for a long time, right? I mean, it's surprising to a lot of people, even myself when I first started, right? But, it's been around for a while. And now with, women's flag football going into the Olympics, I mean, even Monday Night Football last night had Canada, USA playing at halftime, right? And those things, it's kind of the right time for this to be happening. And in a space here like the Bay Area where, there's the Niners, but the Raiders are gone. There's no football in the kind of northern portion of Northern California. And so, there's need for this. And, and so a lot of that, right, really what they wanted to do, what they're looking to build, how they want this to be different than everybody else, right? How they want this to, be something special, something that, is not that can build into truly a pro level team, right? Like we want to get to the point where we can support these women, we can support the people who are building this, but right now it's at the grassroots and it's building that, and the league is doing a great job of like, what's next? How do we make this thing even better and bigger than it is now? And so I think all of that, it just, for me, it made the most sense to be a part of this and, see where we can take it, right? Like, it's an adventure for sure.
And the Storm, of course, are a brand new team, but can you give a little bit of history about the league itself? It's the Women's National Football Conference, is that correct?
The WNFC. So there are two women's tackle leagues. So there's the WNFC, which is the one we're in, and then there's the WFA, right? But the WNFC is a little more kind of professional, like those types of things as well. And so WNFC has been around since around 2019. And, it's kind of fluctuated some teams. We were at 18 and then recently moved to 16. So we came in, 2 teams came out. Part of that was just, where those teams were. It just didn't make sense to continue on to be able to make sure that we have the right things here. But it's been around for a little while. There's and it's really established itself as a dominant league with the WNFC, and we actually just rearranged kind of the divisions and the conferences that we have now. So they're kind of trying to really keep it more in these like pods of 4. So it's a little bit easier schedule wise. So like for us, it's LA, Oregon, San Diego, right? And then we'll also play some games against the other like Western pod, which is Seattle, Las Vegas, Kansas City, and Utah. So it's that's kind of where we are on the West Coast, and then there's another 8 on the like Midwest and East Coast.
That's great, yeah. And the what would you how describe the format of the league itself? And so once you get going, how many games you're going to be playing? When does the season start? Just some of the basics there.
Yeah, for sure. So the season starts March 28th, and then we play up until the end of May, and then playoffs start early June, and then it goes until June 18th, 19th, I think is the championship weekend. So that's kind of, you play 6 games. We play 6 games. We play 3 home games, 3 on the road, and then with the opportunity to play some extra games. When I keep saying when we make playoffs, right? That's when we make playoffs. We would play. There's an opening round, and then there's your quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, right? So an opportunity to play a few more games, as well as if we're a higher seed, we can host a playoff game. So there's things like that as well, which are pretty cool. We'll start optional practices in December, and then official practices in January, and we'll start our in-season practices in March. So early March, we'll have a training camp, and then our kind of in-season practices will start, and then March 28th is our first game. So yeah.
And you mentioned again kind of this long history of professional women's football, and now in other rival leagues, rivals. What does this league and this team need to do in order to be successful? Or at least in let's talk shorter term, like this season, where you're just building a brand as part of that. What are some of the success metrics that you're looking at, to really grow this sport and team?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think like talking about to like where we've came from, right? Like, like I said, tackle football has been around for a while, and there was, we had a lot of international tackle football going on, right? So, the USA tackle football team, a lot of the players from that actually run the WNFC, right? So there's this kind of like group that is building this, right? OJ and their team over there have kind of really done a really good job of getting to this point, right? And so I think really like for us, for the Storm in particular, like we want to, build a competitive team. We want to fill the stands, right? Like we want to get people in the stadium, right? Like the average attendance or the most attendance at like a WNFC game is around 2,000 or so. I mean, we want to double that, right? We want to get to 4,000 or 5,000. Like we'd like to sell out our facility, right? We want to, but more than that, like if you follow us on social media, you see the community aspect. We want to build women's tackle football and women's flag football, right? Because we do flag and tackle. It's not just tackle. We have to have both teams. So we have a couple things that we're going to be announcing soon that we're really excited about for flag. We've been going around to the local high schools and promoting flag football throughout the Bay Area, which I think is really cool. We're going to Oakland First Fridays and, we're going to San Francisco Sundays. Like we're all doing all that. We're getting ourselves out there. We want to build a culture. We want to be a part of the community. We want people to come to our games and feel like, they're a part of something special. They're part of this new thing that's developing here. Whether that's, by closing down the street outside of our stadium or, bringing in some really good local vendors and food and things like that. All that kind of stuff we're talking about, right? We want to be built into the community. We want to do like what other teams have been able to do here to be able to find that success in the Bay Area. I think as well as like, of course, we want to win games. We want to be successful, but it's more than that, right? Like we're trying to build a culture. We're trying to build a team. We want to build a strong community around our team. We want our women on the team to be involved in the community. We want to get back to the community, all that kind of stuff as well. I think on the other side of that, I mean, long term, right? Like we want to get to a point where this league is sustainable and the women are supported and the staff and the people working on this are supported and like, those kind of things. And they're working towards that. They're doing a lot of really great things and exciting things that I think will be coming soon that, will show that this league is going to be something special moving forward. So, and we're in a unique situation too with, the Super Bowl coming to town soon as well to be able to use that as a way to promote us and, get ourselves out there. And, we have a lot of really unique opportunities, we haven't announced our stadium yet, and we're still, working on some final details of that with the schedule and all that stuff. But, we're hoping to bring football back to, some areas that have needed it and that some teams left. And, we're hoping to bring it back and get some opportunities for, people to be excited about watching football again.
That's great. Yeah. And you referred to earlier to this wider interest in women's sports. A couple of areas that I wanted to touch on first.
Yeah.
The growth in these varsity sports. Again, I grew up in an age where, female football, it was like the powder puff game and that was maybe it.
Right.
Or
Yep.
the lingerie football, kind of these half serious thing, but now it's a serious high school varsity sport. You guys have had a role in that. Can you talk a little bit about what that local interest especially has been? I don't know if you have stats on, how many teams there are now at the varsity level for high schools and all. Just paint that picture for us.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think it's exploding in California. I mean, I think almost most teams are either have flag football or developing flag football at this point. And what we're seeing with that, I mean, there's a player out of Sacramento named Daisy Thorkmacher, I think is how do you say her name, but she's plays flag football for her high school team, and she's incredible. She's an amazing quarterback, and she just got a starting job as the quarterback for the men's tackle team as well now. Like, so, you're seeing like people are noticing that, whoa, like they could play, like we should use them on our team, right? Like, so it's creating a little bit of a crossover, which I think is really exciting as well for, women who want to have the opportunity to play tackle before joining a league like ours, right? And then on the other side of that, I mean, there's a ton of teams. We sent out care packages to every team, every flag football team, high school team in the area with like, some wristbands, some stuff like that, just like showing that we're here, that we're supporting them. We have people coming out to a bunch of different games and highlighting games and, showing like, hey, this is here, like watch this. This is awesome. And, I think the girls and the women have really enjoyed that and appreciated that. And, it's the first time that they're really getting this true exposure, which I think is huge. So I don't necessarily have like stats on that. Our community person probably does, but, to me, what I see, it's growing, it's exploding. It's an exciting new thing. I think, again, similar to some other sports that have been recently added to the Olympics, it's a game changer. I mean, people now realize that, hey, there's something here. Colleges are starting to add it. It's a cheap option, that adds people. So colleges are adding flag football. And so I just think this is going to take off, like the flag portion. But I think, we kind of say, like, you can't have tackle without flag, can't have flag without tackle, right? So both of them need to be successful for this to really, move to something. But flag makes sense right now, right? To add flag at a high school or college level makes way more sense than adding tackle, right? You don't have to worry about all the equipment. You don't have to worry about all the injuries, right? Like all that stuff. But adding the flag and getting people interested in playing creates the opportunity for people to play tackle football, right? We had a tryout yesterday, and we had somebody come out who's been playing flag, and I'm just like, she's ready for tackle. Like the way she was catching the ball and moving through was like, you throw a pass on her and like, you're not going to stop her. Right. Like it's like, it is. So, we're seeing that, like, people who have experience with flag are able to transition that into tackle. Whether that's just like with their speed, their size, the way they kind of catch the ball and move, like that kind of stuff as well.
You mentioned a couple of, big events, to really highlight the sport. We have the local Super Bowl here in Santa Clara in February coming up, and the Olympics. This is going to be the first time that this is going to be featured as a sport. Right. What is the league or even the Storm doing around any formal plans yet about how you're going to be able to showcase and take advantage of those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still working on that, like from our end, right, from the Storm end. Like I think we're still laying out some plans to be able to use those kind of resources as a promotion. I think the league just, continuing to invest and put time into flag and building a really good flag program is key, right? Like that's why with the WNFC, like you have to have a tackle team and you have to have a flag team, right? You have to field both to be eligible. So, it's important for us to kind of continue that promotion. And like I said, we have some stuff coming out soon that we'll be announcing that we're really excited about. Cool. That I think is going to be great for developing adult flag in the Bay Area, and creating opportunities for these women who are playing flag to really showcase themselves. So, that's some stuff that's in the future I can't really talk about yet, but we're really excited about, some of the programming we're putting together.
Yeah, great to have that on the horizon. Looking forward to hearing more about that. Locally here too, we've had a couple great success stories of women's sports with, of course, the Valkyries in the WNBA and Bay FC down in the NWSL. What have you looked to those leagues and their early success stories in the Bay Area? What lessons does the franchise hope to take advantage of some of that great energy and momentum that those teams have found?
For sure. I mean, I think, one thing too, like, we were just at, we were partnering a lot with the Women's Coaching Alliance, and we have a really nice little partnership with them. We were just at their event this last weekend, and we got to meet the president of the Valkyries and, kind of get to mingle with them and get some more opportunities there to learn as well as what they're doing. So that's, we're definitely leaning on that and looking at that. I think one of the cool things that they did is really they built a brand. Like, they had their slogans, they had the mascot, they had all this stuff. Like, we're doing all of that, right? We have our slogans, we have our we're working on a mascot, we're working on, our what everything's going to look like, what's our merch, like, all this stuff. Again, trying to be different, right? Like than the rest of the league. Not the rest of the league is getting there, and they're seeing what we're doing, and we're trying to make it an opportunity for this to really expand into something and make this kind of a staple here. And we're also leaning a lot on some of the teams in the league that have done a really good job with this, because there's a handful of teams in WNFC and even more than that have just been so successful with the building their brand. And so we've been, learning from them and talking to them and, trying to really understand like what to do. And like a lot of what we've built has been off of the backs of, these other programs that have done so well in the WNFC. But, Bay Area wise, we're definitely looking at, Bay FC and definitely the Valkyries. I mean, the nice part for the Valkyries too is like, they have the Warriors, and they have this kind of like this love for basketball in the Bay Area, right? That like was going to be successful. But the way they branded, the way they put themselves out there, the way they announced things, the way they built their team, like, I mean, anybody could have done that and been successful the way they did it, right? Like without the Warriors, I still think they would have been successful with the way that they did it, right? And so, we're looking at that and we're going, okay, like what can we do that can, we don't have the same capital or money that they do, but we can take some of the tactics that they used and be able to use that into what we're building. And, I think we've done a lot of really good things so far. And I think we're going to continue as we get the roster built and, we get our brand and our marketing out there. We just, we recently brought in our marketing team and we're really excited about them. And they're just doing an incredible job so far. We have some player announcements coming up that I think are going to make things really exciting as well. So, and, just the team in general that we have over here is, incredible. Like, the between from the board of directors to the ownerships to, I have a coach, I have another general manager. So I'm the general manager of football operations. We have a general manager of revenue ops. We have community, we have a coaching staff, a big coaching staff that we'll be announcing soon. I have 2 assistant general managers. We're building a really strong team and people want to be involved with this. People want to see this succeed. And it's really, really it's exciting. And I think the owners have done such a good job of building just this team to be able to get us to a point where, hey, we're going to be we want to be a stable in the Bay Area. Like we want, people to think about us in that, in those names of the Valkyries and Bay FC and, up there with the big guns. So.
Yeah, that's great. I'll give, kudos too, because I think when I first heard about the team, it began to show up in my socials, and it was this beautiful brand that that striking, and I love the colors and everything like that. But it was reminiscent of how the Valkyries kind of pulled us in, with their strong brand and stuff, and so that's what got me really energized for that. So yeah, I'm excited for you and the team.
Yeah, for sure.
To see where this goes.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about some of the community events that you've done. You mentioned going out to some of the high school girl games and so forth. So what were some of the other things either on the horizon or that you guys have done in recent history here?
Yeah. So, like you said, we've been doing the flag portion of like going out to the high schools and doing that. And I think that's been a really, really good thing. And for not just for our social media, but for the community and for growing, the exposure of women's football, flag or tackle. And then, like I said, we've been going out to a bunch of the community events like Oakland First Fridays and then the Sundays events as well and all that kind of stuff. So we've been doing all of that, tabling and getting our information out there, bringing our team out there and trying to just expose, who we are, what we're doing, get people excited about the brand and the team that's going to be starting here in March, right? That's going to be playing and competing, right? We have a lot more of community events coming up that we're going to be doing. A lot of it will also surround around the roster as we bring in our roster and build the team. So, that's my job is to build this roster and bring in a solid group. And so, yeah, a lot of those community events moving forward and the things that we're going to be doing are going to be very much based off of, players and different things like that. But our community relations coordinator is doing an incredible job, and she's, just hitting every area that possible to be able to get this thing out there. And then as we start getting to like, okay, we got to get ready for game days. Like, we're going to be doing a lot more promotional stuff, a lot more opportunities for tickets, or opportunities to market on TV, online, all that stuff as well. So, but we got to build a roster, secure our facilities, do all those things that are important for having a successful season. So, yeah.
I noted just through your announcements that there's this National Tryout Day.
Yes.
Is it October 18th? So what's that event? And if again, perhaps there's a listener out there who may be interested. Well, what can you tell us about that?
Totally. So we have National Tryout Day is for all of the WNFC. So October 18th is National Tryout Day. So one day a year, every single team in the WNFC hosts a tryout on that day in their location, right? So like, we have a tryout, like LA, San Diego, like all the teams host a tryout in their location on that day, on the 18th. So we'll be hosting a tryout on that day, October 18th, at the Oakland Roots practice facility, which is the old Oakland Raiders practice facility. It's an amazing facility, and so that's from 9 to 1 on the 18th. And we've got a good amount of signups already, and looking forward to getting some more women out there and getting an opportunity to play for the team. It's all combine style, no tackle drills or pads or anything like that. Just, we do 40 testing, we do vertical bench, 5-10-5, and then some football drills, like, non-contact football drills, just working on seeing, movement and stuff like that. And it's a really fun day. So we've actually hosted 2 tryouts already. We hosted one on September 21st and October 5th, which was the other day. And they've been great. We've had a great turnout, ton of support from the Bay Area and all over. And we've already signed a good amount of players here on the roster, and we're really excited about the group that we have bringing in. We have some free agents that we're bringing in. We have some and then we also have a lot of locals as well, who've been able to get on board. And we have more that I'm sure we're going to be signing and announcing any day now. But yeah, it's really the events. The events have been great. The thing that I have loved about the tryout so far, there's 2 areas for me, is just the energy and passion that these women bring. Like, it is like, getting into this, like, I didn't know too much about women's tackle football. I've been learning, and this was the first experience for me to be around it. Man, it is electric. Like, I am just like, I'm in there just like, I'm getting goosebumps, thinking about it. Like, the energy they bring, the camaraderie, like, the support for each other was awesome. I mean, they're making plays and they're like going nuts, and, they're pushing each other through the bench press, and, cheering everything. And it's really cool environment, a really great place to be involved with it. And these women can play. Like, they're athletic, they're strong. They can move, they can catch, they can throw. Like, we had somebody yesterday just slinging the rock down the field, and I was just like, oh my God, like, like looking like Josh Allen out there. Like, what do we do? It's just, I mean, they could play. And so it's really exciting, and it's really cool to be a part of. And, it's a pleasure for me to even have this opportunity to, get to build this thing, and with this amazing team that we have. And again, just getting to give. And I think the thing that I keep hearing from the women is just how appreciative they are to have this opportunity, to put on such a professional environment that we're doing for them. And I think it's really been awesome. And shout out to the Oakland Roots for letting us use their facility for the tryouts. They have an incredible facility. They have an incredible team over there, and it's been a really great partnership so far, getting to be able to be involved there. And they're getting to see what we're doing as well. And we're kind of looking at what they did. They played at a small community college to start, built this amazing fan experience, and then moved to, now playing at the Coliseum and selling out, their games. And, we're looking at that as well, and hoping to continue that partnership with them.
Very cool. Let's say the persona type, I guess, that has been showing up to some of these early practices. My assumption here, and I could be completely wrong on this, is maybe not a lot of them have a football background. Maybe they were star lacrosse players or soccer players or something. Yeah. Is that the case, or am I wrong that no, almost everyone does have some sort of football experience now? And or if I'm just a star athlete, can I do a viable tryout?
Yeah, so it's been a mix, right? Okay. So we've had a lot of women who've played football before, whether that's tackle or flag, who've been coming out to the tryouts. Like I said, we do have free agents in this league, so that we also have free agents coming out who've been playing for years, right? And so that's part there is that as well. But, we also we had somebody yesterday who's played a little bit of flag football, but never played tackle football, was a collegiate soccer player, and she was awesome. right? So, so it's a mix. I would say, we're welcome to anybody who wants to participate. We're trying to build 60 to 70 on the roster. So, we know with that, like we're not going to get everybody who's played football before. I think our coach Hartwell, our head coach, has said, I can't teach you how to be an athlete, but I can teach you how to play football, right? Like, being an athlete is just you either have it or you don't. Yep. But we can teach anybody to play football, right? And so that's really the mindset that we've come into this recruiting aspect is whoever you are, we can teach you how to play football if you are athletic and are willing to put in the work, right? And so that's what we're seeing is we have gymnasts, we have rugby players, we have softball, track and field, basketball, lacrosse, flag football, soccer, every background imaginable, and then as well as the women who have been playing for years, women who have just been playing for a couple years. There's teams around, right? And so there's been teams in the Bay Area before, like Sacramento area. So we're getting some players from there and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's been a really interesting mix of backgrounds and experiences. And, I don't think there's like one or the other that has an edge over anybody else. I mean, they're all, I think, again, similar thing. Like if you're athletic and, you're willing to learn and put in the work, like you can be successful for sure.
Yeah. And the team formats are, so again, professional, men's league is 11 on 11 and so forth. What are the, how does your league do it for the different flag and tackle teams?
So yeah, tackles same as men's. We basically play NCAA Division I rules. 11 on 11, full field tackle football. So it's our refs tend to be NCAA Division I refs. So we play pretty much those same style of rules and play flag football, just similar USA flag rules, all that kind of stuff. We want our women to have an opportunity to compete, at the Olympic level or anything like that. So we want to make sure that they're, following the same standards and rules as if they were going to be competing at that level. So,
I'm curious, and maybe you could even just speak high level about this, but what's
Sure.
I'll say the economic model of the league, these days, in things like media, attention, ticket sales and merch and stuff, what are going to be some of those main triggers that will drive success for your economic success for the league?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we're with this in general, like, we're working on getting to a level where we can support our athletes. For now, the athletes have to put in some money to be able to play. So that's a part of it. But, we're hoping to get away from that model in the near future and not have that be the case. But for now, it's part of it. But we're doing some unique things to incentivize the women and give them an opportunity to, give back and have some opportunity there to be successful with it. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, the biggest economic stuff is going to be, one is going to be the player fees that's going to be a part of it. But more than anything, it's at the end of the day, we need to have success on game days. We need to sell tickets. We need to, sell food, merchandise, all that kind of stuff. So anything that any other professional team would be banking on to be able to make money, that's going to be part of it. Sponsorships, ad sales, all that kind of stuff. That's all something that we're looking to do to be able to, have a solid budget. So we're anticipating, we're with the stadium that we're hoping to play in, there's a certain capacity that we're looking to meet for that. And so we have a kind of base level of like, this is a success, this is not, right? As far as ticket sales, vendors and food and all that stuff is going to be a part of that. Merchandise as well. I think we think that's going to be a big piece for us. Just with the way we're designing things, the logo that we already have, I think it's really exciting. And then on the other side of that, ad sales, sponsorships, all that stuff. So like I said, there's another general manager of revenue ops. So he's looking at all of that as well. And we're working together on that. Cause I also am part of the game day experience piece. So I'll be a part of those conferences. We're all, at the end of the day, we all working together, right? We meet weekly, as a full team, and everybody gets to share what they're doing, what they're working on, and we're all collaborating together. And, A lot of us have been able to meet up in person and get to know each other. And so it's been really cool. And it's just, it's a great team of people who are like-minded, excited about what we're building here.
Yeah. Fast forward to that opening day in March. What would you envision as, hey, this is going to be like the perfect day? You have a team there fielded, and
that's
what
key.
Are some of the, of course. And then one of the some of the things that would really impress you, or that you're really striving for that first day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just announcing ourselves to the Bay Area that, hey, we're here, and this is going to be an awesome experience, right? And so, one, I think we're working on a really good video team. All games for the WNFC are streamed on Victory Plus, and so we want to have a really great crew there, so people can also watch from home and have the opportunity to put it on their TVs in their living room, because at the end of the day, that's part of the experience as well, as making sure that we've got a good stream and people can watch from anywhere. And then on the other side of that, right, like I think it's really just about that game day experience, that environment, that community, everything that we're going to do within the community to get to that point for game day, that first game day. I'd love to see that stadium filled. I would love to see, we've already had a ton of support from local vendors who are really excited to be a part of it and bring in, good food, good environment. We have some ideas as well how to make the potential stadium that we're going to be in, a really something fun and unique, and something that people are going to want to go out to and be excited about. But I think really at the end of the day, it's just I kind of always say it is like sports is a people-driven business, right? Like, if we want to have success on the field, we need our women to be all in. We need them to be successful and feel supported as a roster and as a team, and that's going to get butts and seats, right? Like that piece of like a good experience on the field for the women is going to put butts in seats, right? Like I look at the Valkyries, like you could tell those women were having fun being a part of that team. And it makes you want to go and see them play, right? People don't realize that a lot of times. That is a big piece of sports. Is like, I want to come see a team play for the team at the end of the day. The experience is important. The experience is about bringing people back to the stadium, getting them to come back and watch again. But at the end of the day, you have to see that sideline, that energy, that piece has to be there as well, right? You got to look like they're having fun. I think baseball is a great example of that, right? Like you watch certain baseball teams and man, they look like they're having a blast. Doesn't matter what's going on in the game. They look like they're having fun, right? And those are the teams you want to stay and watch for 2-3 hour long games, right? And it's the same thing in football, right? It's the same thing in any sport. Like if you see those teams like really enjoying being there, it makes you want to be a part of it, And so I think that's a big piece for us is like the roster is important to build everything else. And then if that's there, everything else is going to come together.
Very cool. Yeah. What are some of the things that fans leading up to this season? How can they engage with the team, whether it's community events or even just online? What are some of those channels that we can learn more information about the team and these events that you guys are linked to?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely number one, follow us on social media. Get on the Golden State Storm Instagram. See what we're doing. There's new stuff every day. We're posting videos from tryouts. We're posting videos from all the flag football games, the community events, all that stuff. Like get on there, see what's going on. That's priority number one. Our website is currently being rebuilt and it's going to look amazing. So once we get that going, that's going to be something that, we're going to hit a lot of those marks on there. Continue. And then as we announce the women who are going to be a part of this team, get on, follow them. They make some great content. Some of these women we're bringing in have some incredible content, incredible pages where you can learn more about the league, their background. I mean, these stories, some of the, I'll give you an example. I can't share who it is yet because we haven't announced yet, but we have a player coming in who's signed with us that's in medical school, right? She's trying to be a doctor right now while also playing women's tackle football. She's good. She's a beast, right? Like we have somebody coming out who wants to work in the veterinary industry and work with animals and, work in zoology and stuff like that. It's like there's these amazing backgrounds and experiences that all these women have that they're going to get to share with everybody. And so that's going to be a really cool piece as well. But yeah, just following us on all that stuff and getting our information out there. And, if you, and don't hesitate to reach out. We have people who are messaging us on Instagram all the time. We try and respond. Like we have forms if you want to volunteer, if you want to be a part of this thing, reach out. Like we want the Bay Area to be involved in this and feel like this is their team. And, that comes from, that ability to be accessible and reach out to us. And, but yeah, I mean, just following us on all that stuff and getting us, knowing what we're doing. And as we announce things, get involved. If we're doing an event, show up, come support us, see what we got going on. It is really exciting. And these women are really incredible. So it's something special that I mean, again, I'm just so excited to be a part of it. So.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, we're very pleased to be able to share this story a little bit. And what do you think? Do you think we have already a rivalry built in, like say with the LA team, or with is it too early for that, or
I think it'll build for sure.
Yeah, of course.
The schedules hopefully will be coming out soon, and so you'll get a little glimpse of that and see kind of who we're playing and what those will look like. Internally, sure, I got some rivalries on my mind, but I'm not going to share them yet. Those will be promoted heavily. Don't worry. But no, I mean, it's great. I mean, I think the cool part about this league and for us coming in and new is like everybody's been super welcoming, super supportive, like really awesome to work with and be around. This whole league in general, like, everything that we've been doing, like they're here for us and we've been able to communicate with them and get to know some of them. And so I think that's really cool as well. And something really special to be a part of is that like as a whole league, like be able to see that welcome with open arms and, willing to, help us through some of the bumps and hiccups that we're trying to make sure we can avoid so we can have a lot of success this year.
Well, this is going to be a wonderful time leading up to the season, which begins in March. Dr. Sammy, I thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to see where this franchise goes, and we'll be happily reporting more on updates as we learn them here on this channel, and doing whatever we can to help drive some attendance to some of those games. So I wish you the best of the luck, and we will be in touch again. Any parting words for our audience today?
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed talking with you about this. And, anybody who wants to be involved with the team, whether that's as a player base, volunteer base, or, just get involved in what we're doing, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on our social media or website. Hey, go Storm.
Awesome. All right. For Silicon Sports Spectator, I'm the Joe Machine. And for Sam Vogel Seidenberg, we appreciate you. Go Golden State Storm.